Time to read some porn together. Do the characters in Overwatch actually have names?
Names?
Yeah. Angela Ziegler, aka Mercy, is that an actual thing?
Yeah.
Really? How do you say her last name?
Ziegler?
Ziegler?
Do like a T, like do like a TS instead of a Z. Ziegler.
Ziegler?
No, don't go like Z. C. Like
Ziegler.
TS.
Ziegler.
C. C. Ziegler. Are you being an asshole right now? Or
No.
Are you trying? Okay.
Ziegler. Ziegler.
Ziegler.
Ziegler.
Ziegler. Yeah. There you go.
This is called Mercy's Brothel.
Sounds good to me.
When Dr. Angela Ziegler, oh my god.
You're fine, Ziegler. You can say Ziegler and you'll be absolutely fine. No one other than me is gonna give you shit about this.
Angela Ziegler. I'm gonna kill myself by the end of this. Angela Ziegler, aka Mercy, is a healer for Overwatch. Although her days outside of Overwatch are mostly spent helping around hospitals and making home calls, this would not pay for her way through the world. When she was losing funding from the government, she had originally been trying to make powerful combat stimulants. Once she had a job back at Overwatch, she had to make more money. But it was not in medicine, but in services. In her first month, trying to run a private brothel worked. It had also attracted many of other female counterparts of Overwatch to join, each earning their own money and gifts. This dick.
Is that actually in there?
No.
You can't make jokes, man. I have no idea.
She'd almost adopted all her girls as family. She heard a knock on the door and looked up. Come in, the doorknob turned and a bright bubbly Tracer rushed in and sat on the chair opposite her. Mercy smiled at Lena? She has a fucking name too? She was one of the first people to join the brothel and had always been the most asked for. What can I do for you, Miss Oxton? So her name is Lena Oxton? Well, I've got a lovely gal here for you. She says she wants to be part of the brothel, and I reckon she has what it takes. But I'll leave that to you. Tracer stood up and walked to the door, looking out and ushering someone in. A short girl wearing a thick blue jacket and pin at the top of her hair walked in. The ground beneath her feet grew cold with each step until she sat down in the seat. Tracer zoomed off, closing the door. Hello, miss? Mercy looked deep into her eyes as the girl realized that she was being talked to and shook her head. Miss Mei Ling Zhao. I wanted to know if I could... She twiddled her thumbs and bonked her own head. What? I, was wanting to know if you were able to offer, Her cheeks became red with embarrassment. My services? Mercy looked at the girl and pulled up a file on her. Climatologist serving at Watch Point, Antarctica? What would a girl like you want to work here for? May looked down and sighed. Well, you see, Miss Angela, I'm kind of in need of some funding. I thought that said fucking. And kind of in need of some fucking. My research isn't cheap. My government doesn't want me to offer any funds for it, so I knew I would have to make them myself. May puffed out her chest in hopes to show Mercy her spirit. I know many others who have done other things. Zarya has gone into the building industry, helping build things all around the world. So tell me, why a brothel? May thought on the words and then sat up. Well, I have not been trained in any sexual behavior as such, and I'm very small. No, she's not. She has a pretty big ass.
It's heavy clothing.
Is it though?
Like you wear heavy clothing.
I don't have heavy clothes. I have a t-shirt on. I'm just fat, Josiah. I'm very small, but I know that I could be of help to you, so please give me a chance. Mercy smiled and stood up. I do admire your spirit and reason, so I'll hire you. May smiled and held her hands together. If you can pleasure me, May nodded. Mercy walked to the door and closed it, locking it and sitting to the edge of the table just in front of May. Well, Miss Angela, please call me either Mercy or Mistress. Mercy bit her lip and looked at May, sending a chill down her spine. Mercy smiled and pointed a finger at May. ushering her closer. May stood up and leaned close, her face being pulled in by Mercy. The kiss so soft and cold, sending a chill between them. Mercy wrapped her legs around the girl, pulling her closer. The two separated as Mercy began unzipping her uniform. May held her hand and continued unzipping along the front, kissing along the pale skin. Following the zipper, a small moan escaped from Mercy's lips as she felt her body shudder.
Continue.
You hard yet?
No.
Mercy as she then moaned, feeling May latch onto her breast and suckle on the nipple. Mercy held May's head, pulling her closer, wanting more of the pleasure. Well, I see she did a fantastic job. Ah, yes, Mercy moaned as she felt May gently nibble on Mercy's nipple. Well, in this place, my dear, you won't ever need this. Mercy masterfully reached behind May's back and undid her bra, pulling it out and throwing it across the room. May gasped as Mercy placed both of her hands onto her breasts. The basement door is closed, right?
Pretty sure. No.
Great! Mercy leaned forward and began suckling on one of her nipples, gently biting onto it. May moaned as her body was floored with pleasure. She held Mercy's head and arched her back as she came. Mercy grinned, and she knew she'd won. Well, I guess you liked that after all. She looked deep into May's eyes, sitting back onto the table and sliding off the rest of her clothes. May knew that she was asking what she was asking for and moved the chair forward, kissing along Mercy's legs. A cute giggle escaped from her lips, which turned into soft, sensual moans as she felt May's cold tongue lick along her vagina. It was cold, but it was so good. She pulled May closer. The girl began eating the woman out, licking along the woman's interest and stimulating her clit. Mercy began to shudder as she came. That was good. You were very good, May smiled and looked at Mercy. Mercy pulled the woman in for a hug and relaxed on the table. Tomorrow will be a hard challenge for you, but I know you can do it.
How many chapters are there?
2.
Oh, just 2? Cool.
And then number 3 says, I'm writing more, but please read.
His breathing quickened as she rocked faster. She began bouncing onto his cock ejaculating inside her. There it is again! So many cocks.